In this video, we're going to talk about the hidden costs of running a pilot car business. This video could also have been called, What are the real overhead expenses for a pilot car business? I will also tell you a story how I messed up my finances of running a pilot car business and what I did to resolve it. But first of all, let's talk about the hidden costs of running a pilot car business. What you're going to see here are the pilot car business expenses that I have put together. So it starts out with the gas on a pilot car. This calculation here is based on doing 300 miles a day and for 5 days a week. And that brings you to $870 a month being spent on fuel. The car repair and maintenance expenses per year are $8,000. The next item is the pilot car insurance. What you see here on that list is what I pay in Texas. Texas is one of the cheapest states when it comes to pilot car insurance. So as I covered in my insurance videos, there's a playlist on that on the channel. If you want to know really all about insurance, watch my playlist on that one. Now, the next items on the list are the load board services, the GPS in route, the registration, the National Pilot Car Association membership, $25 a year, uspilotcars.com. That's a website that basically carries a pilot car directory. And this $23.77 a year is well spent. You get business from just advertising your name and your website, if you have one, your phone number on that website. People, truckers, companies go there to look for pilot car drivers. Hotel expenses, more on that later. Food expenses, phone, wireless. I use Mint Mobile. I pay once a year $360, which is up to $30 a month. That is really cheap. I think it's the cheapest anywhere in the US. And then I have a thing here called Business Phone. Ring Central Business Phone. This is basically, you can have a business phone number if you want to have that. You don't have to have that. Then I pay, $300 a year for my website. QuickBooks, that's $240 a year. And then, the rent or home expenses, whatever you have, it's about what I have, $1,200 a year. Then I have insurance for my RV, or registration for my RV. And then I have a loan where I pay $239 a month. So my expenses add up to $5,572.49. That brings us to the next calculation. And that is, how much money do I actually pay per mile to be on the road? And as you can see here, it's 92 cents. That's what I pay. Your calculation, if you do what I just showed you to do, you may come up with a different calculation, okay? But that is what I have to pay in order to drive. As I have shown you in my chart here, in my first chart, I have included hotel expenses in that breakdown. This requires more explanation. Let's look at this here. My first point is the general rates for a pilot car driver include no-go money, $250, overnight money, $100, $450 to $600 day rate for trips below 250 miles, and then $350 for mini trips which are below 150 miles. This at once tells you that you are getting also paid when you do not drive. Specifically $250 for the no-go and $100 for the overnight. This aspect is not included in the overhead calculation. The second point is I included the hotel expenses as an expense, and I included it in the calculation to establish the rate per mile. Why? Because this is my buffer zone. If I exclude the hotel expenses, my miles rate will be lower. However, I still have to pay for it. Therefore, I included the hotel expenses in my miles rate, and any hotel money I will get will be income. All right? So the next item that needs more explanation are the vehicle maintenance and repair expenses that I showed you in the beginning. Now, what you see here is the breakdown of the basic vehicle maintenance and repair. It includes the oil change, tire replacement, which is something you have to do once a year. Transmission oil change, not a transmission flush. This is a transmission oil change, also once a year. The window has to be replaced once a year. Spark plugs and coils, they may need to be replaced once a year, depends. Brake pads and rotors, again, possibly need to be replaced once a year. A coolant flush once a year. The air filters, they add up to about $150 a year. And then there's an amount of $4,200 I added here, which is for motor mounts, suspension repairs, major parts breaking on the car. Now, these $4,200 here, they are really, I'd say, conditional. You may or may not spend it. If you don't spend it, then put it in set aside. Anything not spent of the above amount should go toward purchasing your next car. And I tell you, that gets me to my story. I have told you before that I had a Honda Odyssey as my first car. And I had this thing only for 4 months. And what happened is it broke down. On a trip through Indianapolis, the car overheated in the winter. So that meant I have to buy a new car. I had no money in set aside. And I tell you, this is terrible. I had credit cards, but I had them paid off, but I had no plus money. Well, okay, I had maybe $1,000 plus. I had to ask my son for $3,000, which was kind of devastating for me. And my son was saying, oh, sure, here is the money. He gave me the money instantly, and I later on paid him much more back than what he gave me, just because I was so happy for his support. But that is what got me back on the road. But it is something that was really stupid on my part. And nobody should do this. The moment you have your debts paid off, don't spend money on anything else but building up a set aside for repairs or for a new car. Okay, this is my advice to you. Immediately, as soon as you can, build up a set aside, a cash cushion that is good enough to buy a new car just in case your car breaks down. All right? Thanks for listening.